Welcome to the Evening Edit. I'm Elizabeth McDonald. We are seeing new reports and anecdotal information of a voter backlash in Pennsylvania against Kamala Harris, picking Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. So who gets Pennsylvania? They've got a lot of electoral college votes, more than Michigan and Wisconsin. Also, this debate and details this hour. Nationwide, it's happening. People are talking. Who's got the policies to fix America on the economy, inflation, possible recession, the border, national security? Reports coming in. Even those who don't like him say, look closer on this. It is President Trump. And joining me now, we've got Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz. Sir, it's a pleasure having you back on the show. It's wonderful to see you again. So what do you think of all this? You know, doesn't this show how far left the Democrat Party has gone? Now, Democrat socialists applaud Tim Walz after he downplayed socialism as just neighborliness when it's government coercion. What do you think?
Well, I think that the Democratic Party has become captive of the extreme hard left, the progressive left. Harris was terrified to pick as her vice presidential running mate the person who would help her most in Pennsylvania, which is an absolutely necessary state for her to win. But she was terrified about losing the progressives and the wokes and the radicals. And so she picked a far, what she believed, safer candidate who the left applauds. Walz may very well be a decent guy, but he is the candidate of Bernie Sanders. And I have generally one rule in politics. If Bernie Sanders is for it, I'm against it. He has proved himself to be wrong on every issue of major importance in the world. And I think the progressives have proven themselves to be wrong on every issue. And so the fact that she picked somebody to placate the progressives and to alienate the centrists shows where the Democrats are going. And I think they're going to lose, not only as a result of this choice, but other choices they've made.
So Minnesota, when Minnesota has voted Democrat in every presidential election since 1976, so people are asking, who gets Pennsylvania then?
Well, I think Pennsylvania is up for grabs. And I think that Shapiro would have given Pennsylvania to the Democrats, but she was terrified about losing her progressive base. And she was warned, she was threatened. And, you know, the progressives, the woke progressives lost a big fight last night. They lost a congressional seat where the incumbent, Cori Bush, lost to a moderate. And now the progressives are saying, well, it was all the Jews' fault. The Jews poured in money, Jewish money. I mean, the anti-Semitic tropes that are coming out of the progressive hard left are disgraceful. And I don't see any answers coming from the leaders of the Democratic Party. Indeed, Nancy Pelosi is part of the problem, not part of the solution. She was rooting very hard against Shapiro, and for, I think, the same reasons that resulted in him not getting the nod.
Well, now you got a new Siena poll. President Trump now in the lead with Jewish voters in the blue state of New York. A new NPR Marist poll, more than 7 out of 10 said they never heard of Tim Walz or don't have an opinion of him. Let's show the real Tim Walz. Watch this.
It was an act of civil disobedience that we need to make sure people feel that there is a proper outlet to address what are legitimate concerns.
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work.
This is that catch-22. The more police are there, the more tension it is. The more tension it is, the more chance you have to get things.
Protecting and supporting access to gender-affirming health care is essential to being a welcoming and supportive state to the community.
He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory.
We saw large, peaceful protests focusing on the systemic changes.
Okay, they weren't peaceful protests. There were riots in Minneapolis and throughout Minnesota. $500 million worth of property damage, neighborhoods and minority neighborhoods destroyed, 1,500 businesses. So is it smart to go so far left? He's got dozens of far left hardcore positions and actions. You know, the tide could be turning because far left Congresswoman Cori Bush just lost her primary in Missouri against a pro-Israel Democrat. This is a second squad member to lose after Jamal Bowman. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was a dumb decision for her to go left. It would have been much smarter to go center, even if not Shapiro, somebody who is much more center, somebody who was not the candidate of the progressive hard left. She doesn't need those votes. She's gotten those votes. Where are they going to go? They're not going for Trump. There are independent voters like me who are up in the air, who haven't made a decision. Many people have not made a decision. And we take into account who the vice presidential candidate is and what this says about whether we're voting for a left wing or a centrist candidate. The vast majority of Americans are centrists. They are moderates. They want people who can do the business of government without being extremely ideological. And I think that what the decision yesterday was a statement that the Democrats are moving ideologically left and away from the center. And that's going to cost them votes. And that was a dumb decision.
Alan Dershowitz, always a pleasure to have you on. I love reading. We admire you so much. A great writer. Alan Dershowitz, brilliant legal mind. Thank you so much.